Welcome back, everyone. I'm Robert Mraz.
And I'm Fina Mraz.
And this is CV Hustle, the podcast dedicated to promoting entrepreneurship here in the Coachella Valley. And we try to bring you nothing but the best entrepreneurs here in the Coachella Valley. And today's episode is going to be no exception because today's special guest is a guy I go way back with, but he's now top of the food chain in the security world, Mr. David Villarreal from Libertas Protection Group. Thanks for coming in, my man.
How are you?
Yeah, good. Good to be home.
Yeah.
I know. We've been trying to book this guy forever.
Been chasing
so I'm
this
glad
guy
you're
forever,
here.
but he's been on tour with some of the biggest stars for the last 6 months. But, you know, he
Yeah.
came home, so we grabbed him and brought him into the studio. So thanks for coming in, man.
How do you guys know each other? I forgot.
Oh, we go way back.
You want to tell a story?
I mean,
I want the real version, so you tell me.
that's true.
So
Bobby
we were
likes to-
actually, Bobby and I were in the same kindergarten class together.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So if I remember right, it was like me, you, and Ryan.
Yep.
We used to hang out together all the time.
No
Ducat,
way.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then growing up, we played football together, played sports together.
You played Indio?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
my freshman year. I didn't play because I wanted to be a bad boy instead of a
Who
football
doesn't?
player. So
Yeah. That's okay. It's time to do it.
We all live and learn,
As long
man.
as you get out of that. So Bobby's mom and dad sent me a little video of a kindergarten class, and Bobby wanted to be a doctor. Are you in that? Are you in that clip?
Was it
I don't
kinder?
think- Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think so. I don't remember David being in
All these
there.
little kids.
I
And
mean, you were in the class, but I don't recall you on the video.
yeah, I don't know.
You may have
But yeah,
may have missed that.
we were in
day or
we were in
something.
kindergarten together. And then, like I said, we just kind of like always went to school together,
yeah,
and
yeah.
we were always played sports together and shit. And then and shit. Sorry.
Yeah.
And
you
then
can cuss.
your father-in-law coached us on our 8th grade year.
That's right.
Coach
That's
Randy.
right.
That's
Even
right.
when he was pissed, he was smiling.
Were you a little Raider?
No, 49ers.
49ers.
Oh,
49ers.
49ers. That's
49ers,
right.
Yeah.
Indio 49ers.
Bobby
Jets.
had number 75.
Did I? No.
Why?
Who had 75? No, what did you have?
I was 45.
Okay.
What does 75 mean?
Well, it's because at the time I was a big Howie Long fan. So Howie Long wore number
so you
75, so I
wanted
wanted
that.
75. And then I think I ended up getting 99, and I stuck with like 99 from that point on.
Yeah.
There you
I think
go.
that looks better.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
75 is kind of blocky.
yeah. Well,
Right.
what was crazy is I ran into Howie Long at a Ritz Super Bowl, and like I get in the elevator because I'm like going to do something. I get in, it's packed. It's big guys in there. I know they're NFL players. And I kind of get the doors like right here, so I kind of got to tuck in behind the door so I can get back. And I look back, and I'm like,
You're
"How you
like,
doing, Howie?" It's Howie Long, bro. I was like,
Damn.
oh my God.
yeah, it was a pretty cool moment.
That's a trip, man.
All right. So I have a question. So you grew up in the valley,
Indio.
and then what? Like what ended up happening? Where'd you go?
So I grew up in Indio. Me and Bobby literally,
West Side Indio.
yeah,
right?
on West Indio.
Yeah.
Let me take it back real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
How in the hell do you know Valencia?
Okay, so my first wife,
Oh, okay.
Virginia.
Virgie. Uh-huh.
yeah. Well, Rick was always when I met Rick, he was crashing on Ben and Debbie's couch.
Always, yep.
He was always couch surfing, and that's how I met Rick. And so when he was always there, and basically like, he was always in and out. Then he joined the army,
That's right.
and then when I joined the army, he was recruiting at the time, and so like I stopped on my way out. We stopped in Texas, and then I stopped there, and then I went to North Carolina, and then on my way back, he was still in. He was just wrapping up recruiting duty, and I stopped to see him again. And then fast forward, like we've always just stayed in touch.
Yeah.
And now with the company, he's retired from the army, and he's got all the other things that he does too. And a lot of the guys that come out to work with us don't even need to work, right? A lot of them come out because they're retired law enforcement officers, retired military guys who, you're used to that, camaraderie, working in teams and so on and so forth. So some guys, they just miss it and come out to work just for that. Like Rick, I bring him out because, he's always a good time. He's
is.
just loud and fun and everything. And I use him as a breaker, like to break people, because he just keeps everybody entertained along the whole day, and just his smile and his laugh is infectious. You know what I mean? So it keeps the guys having fun as well too.
And he'll sing you a song.
And he'll sing you a song. Yeah, he will.
That
So
guy.
back to West Indio.
Mhm.
So I mean, I we grew up together, but I don't really know like your whole story on how you became like,
into
who
this.
who you are today in terms of like from professionally. So take me back to, so, I know we graduated high school.
Yeah.
What was the path at that point? What did you foresee at that point for yourself?
So I was a young dad. I was a teenage father. I had my son when we were seniors in high school. And then I waited till my son turned a year old. And then I joined the Army. I wanted to get a start on life. My dad did it, and I didn't really want to go to college. I wanted to go to work. And then I was working at a grocery store at the time, and I didn't see myself. I mean, I could do it, could have done it, but I didn't see myself like 20, 30 years doing that. So joined the Army with the intent that I'm going to get a tech type job so that when I get out, technology, because at the time, you're talking about late 90s when information technology is just taking off. Yeah.
Internet.
We were in school when I remember when La Quinta was first built, we were like the newest technology in the whole desert. And we still had to like sign up just to go get on the internet in the library.
It was all dial up with the tone and all that.
Entirely different world. Right. So fast forward, I got out of the military and, didn't really find an interest in the information technology. I it wasn't really something that appealed to me. I was like, I don't know. I don't like numbers and stuff like that. So I ended up kind of just going into construction. Went to go work for a drilling company, a water well drilling company out here in Coachella. The money we were doing a lot of prevailing wage jobs. So if you know anything about prevailing wage, the money's really good.
Union. All he does is he has a lot of prevailing wage jobs or clients.
Sure. Exactly. So and then when it's not,
right. Boom or bust, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we did a lot of stuff like that because we did a lot of wells for public entities. One of them being CVWD, which my dad worked for.
Okay.
My dad retired from them after like I want to say close to 30 years.
Oh, wow.
So my thing was like, I'm going to do just my dad, get out of the service, work a couple jobs, and then I'll end up at CVWD, which I eventually did. And then I picked up a coworker and body slammed in the middle of the street. I'm not proud of it. Ultimately,
but it led you to where you are today.
It led me to where I am today. But, long story short is, now I could laugh about it, but it was probably one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. Right. Because not only did I have to like explain to my wife at the time that, hey, this house that we're trying to get, we're not gonna be able to get because I just got fired from probably what could be one of the best jobs I'll ever get, which I thought at the time.
Who was it? A friend?
Yeah. Oh no, it was a coworker.
It was a coworker. Okay.
So it happened at work on the job site.
Got it.
Fast forward, I was young, stupid.
Yeah.
And
aren't we all?
I kind of like backed myself into a corner because while I was there at CVWD, I got my commercial driver's license, right? But after that, I kind of had a little bit of a spiral, and I got a DUI. So, which made my CDL worthless.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
So there was the one thing that got me. So I went back to the first job drilling wells. I went back there and I got fired. Well, not fired, basically got demoted because they were just like, there's nothing you can do. So when I got demoted, I got into a competition with my team leader, and they left me up at the shop in Hemet. They left me up at the shop in Hemet, and I had to get a ride back. Basically, I got fired. So I forced myself into a position where I had to fend for myself. Right. So again, all that stuff being said, that happened over 20 something years ago. I was young, I was wild and immature. I realized that like nobody's gonna hire you, dude. So you got to figure something out. So I tried a bunch of different, ideas. People that know me, they I like tried, selling T-shirts, custom shirts. You name it, I've done it, right? But then I got my brother-in-law hit me up, says his buddy had the contract for the security for the campgrounds there at Coachella. Oh. And this is 08. And I was like, well, yeah, $10 an hour, 12-hour days, 30 days of work. So I'm like, okay, cool. 120 times 30, do the math. Sorry. Went out and did it. And then was still doing construction at the time. So I would go do that at night because I would work overnights. During the day, I'd go do handyman stuff or whatever. And then like fast forward 2 years later, I was one of the security directors for the festival. There's a lot of other steps that happened in between that, but just kind of keep the story short. And then
we got an hour.
Well, depending on what you want to talk about. Excuse me. And then moving forward from there, just from the exposure being at the festival and being the person who's always dealing with the incoming bodyguards, who's dealing with the people who need the information. I was the one who was basically on the ground gathering this information, and when people were coming in to do walkthroughs, they come talk to me. Right. So it kind of got me plugged into networks.
How many bodyguards are coming in
for the festival?
Yeah.
Well, depending on how many artists you have. And then some people have more than one.
I was going to say, does every single person have a bodyguard?
No, not at all. Some people have more than one. Sorry.
Okay. All right. And then, so like when they come in, do the artists have like their own little spot? I guess they do, right?
Depending on where they're performing at, they have their own they have an artist compound, and then they have their own individual trailers. So that's why sometimes if you go back there, you'll see, security guys standing in front of the trailers. They're not just regular security guys. You see in the uniforms. 9 times out of 10, they're usually wearing black or something like that.
Right. And they're private security for the artists.
Right. Correct.
Yeah. So you Coachella was kind of your door into that world. I mean, because you're ex-military, so you kind of already had a background in some of that stuff, right? But Coachella Festival kind of was your door to the security world?
The military stuff looks great on the resume. Right. And, obviously, there's a couple things that it shows. It's like, you could take a kid off the street, teach them, train them how to do anything.
Right.
But it doesn't really, a lot of it doesn't really correlate to what I do, because again, I was working telecommunications while I was in the military. Now, totally different. But again, the discipline, knowing how to, take care of yourself while you're living out of a bag, things like that.
Yeah. I mean, really there is some correlation there, right?
Yeah.
So Coachella Fest 2008 to 2010, you're kind of working your way up through the security thing. And then when did it become evident that you kind of, hey, I could do this for myself. I don't really need to, work for somebody else. Like, did that kind of happen organically, or is that something that you just wanted to do always?
No, it kind of came organically because the way the industry kind of works is a lot of guys are independent contractors, right? So especially up in LA, I was a small fish in a huge ass pond going up there to LA, but I had a guy who that kind of out here who brought me into it, started putting me on the forefront of all these different events. Again, making me the point person for people that are coming in. Everybody's got to come to me through gather information. So not only am I making those contacts, but I'm also learning a lot about the job on both sides. So again, the festivals fed into or got me started, but I've been doing and running events and consulting and managing events in the LA area since 2010.
Yeah.
So,
almost 15 years now.
15, 16 years now. And then that, because of the festival background, kind of fed into the consulting and management I do for festivals as well. So there's multiple things that I do personally, and then there's things that the company does as a whole.
What do you mean consulting? Like what? So it's another just branch off your business?
Yeah. So essentially, let's say, for example,
consulting is.
I have... I just finished a festival out in the Hamptons, right? 2 weeks ago. Part of the consulting is, in particular that festival, I was brought in to oversee the 2 existing security companies that they had as their providers for the festival, right? And then so not only overseeing them, but overseeing the plan that they developed, being the liaison between the security companies and the festival itself, and then after the fact, or after the festival itself, I go through the entire bill and then basically, figure out where
to charge.
If there was 10 guards, they're charging for 10 guards for 10 hours. Were there 10 guards in 10 hours in these particular areas, so on and so forth.
Or were they out there partying?
Right, exactly. So that's
really?
Part of that. That's part of my job as well.
Okay.
So, but I am the overall, and then I have managers that go out and basically they oversee areas. So they report back to me.
Got it. So when you say, when we go over the plan, what is the plan? Is it is it like a footprint of the festival itself?
So what we do, part of the consulting as well, is what we create as a EAP, right? Emergency action plan. So in the emergency action plan, you got maps, you got CAD drawings, you got emergency contact information, what to do if this, what to do if that, so on and so forth. It's basically, it's the answers to everything that could go wrong everything that could go wrong, we provide the answers.
Well,
to.
who's doing that?
Who's doing what?
Who's doing the
EAP?
CAD and the
the CADs are usually provided by, let's say, the festival, right? So we don't do any.
Yeah, because they have
we just
plans.
We requested so that we were able to look over it and figure out. Okay, let's just say the stage is 60 feet wide. Let's just say I put one guard every 10 feet. So now I know, okay, just without even having the setup, I already know, okay, I'm gonna need 6 guards there,
right?
And that's kind of the way it works. So that's what we use the CADs for. And then additionally, it's to be able to draw up emergency evacuation plans.
So like the festival you just did, how long does it take you to plan?
Well, that one in particular, they brought me in late. So, but usually, I mean, it could be anywhere from 6 to 4 months.
Damn.
There's because you're dealing with permitting, you're dealing with well, this is what they want to do, and now the city are saying no, you can't do that. You got to do this, and you got to move to this location. So there's a lot of other things that go on in the politics of all that kind of stuff that I don't really deal with. But I'm included in on all the meetings because you got to know the obstacles they're going to be coming up later.
Right. Yeah, that's what I figured. Like it's you got to do some planning. So when you said this one was a rush, do you charge a rush fee?
I mean, we do.
No, I just chose not to.
My business.
Basically.
Right, same here.
Basically, I just chose not to take on parts that they wanted me to take on. Okay. I said, I don't have, if I feel I can't do it to the best of my ability, I will say, no, I can't do it. I'm not going to take it on and then fail.
Right.
It's better for me just to say, no, I can't do it. So there's another festival we were brought up for, or we just got contracted for to run the stage, backstage, barricade, and then overall incident command. And then plus canines. They they literally brought us in 2 weeks ago, and the festival's on the 18th, or excuse me, the 19th and 20th of July. That is super late. So they wanted me to oversee the entire festival. I said no, because I don't have enough time to prepare to do it properly.
Right.
So we're only going to stick to particular areas that we know we're fully prepared to take care of.
The hell do you need canines for?
Because you have to think about what's going on right
drugs?
now. No.
They're not sniffing out drugs?
No, not drugs at all. Think about what's going on in the world right now. Domestic terrorism in general.
Oh, okay.
Like,
bombs.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Got
bombs.
it. Those kinds of threats.
So speaking of that, like in your emergency plan, what do you guys, we all remember Woodstock 99 was like a big riot. And so are you guys like preparing for like worst case scenarios where there's like a riot in the crowd and people are just going crazy?
All those things there's in the case of this incident, and this is how it flows. And then also you have your incident flow chart, right? Where you're talking about, okay, well, who do we inform first? If it's a fire, then obviously calling fire department. It's somebody got punched in the face, we're going to call, police. Now the person was punched in the face, so that now there's an injury, so we have to call fire as well. Like, those kind of things. Who do you call?
Right.
And the EAP usually gets submitted to like the city or whoever the permitting jurisdiction is. We submit that to them. They will approve it. More of it has to do with liability.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, everything's about liability,
exactly.
right? For these guys, for these big corporations, it's just all about covering their ass, right?
That's exactly why.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another question. So when you said you're in the Hamptons, do you take your own guys, or they've got guys and you got to work with their guys?
So usually I'll bring my own team, right?
Okay.
But just managers, not because let's say for that festival there was it was a staffing call of 125 guards. Right?
Yeah.
I don't have 125 guards in New York, right? But I bring my management teams. The reason why I bring my management team is because I trust them and I know what their work is. That I don't have to go around to every single place and count. Okay, there's 10 here and there's 20 here because 125 guards. How am I going to do that all day counting guards? Then I can't concentrate on actually overseeing everything when I'm just sitting there counting guards. Where I'll bring my managers in. Let's say I have a manager who oversees the front entrance. I have a manager who oversees the barricade and the stage itself. And then we have guys who oversee artist protection, right? And let's just say in particular, we have like certain, VIP areas that are brought to you by like this, I don't know, Tao nightclub, right? Somebody who will watch over those areas. Then the guards, they staff that, right? Usually security companies, they have their own supervisors, but they're there to make sure that they do the job. Because just because they're coming out to do a festival, these festivals don't happen every single day. We're not talking about this was in the Hamptons, so it's not like this festival's happening every single day. In LA, right? You got guys,
you got plenty of guys.
You got
right?
festivals. You got guys doing this every single day. They're doing 3, 4, 5 different events every single week.
Right.
Wow.
Out there, it's a little bit different. So we got to bring in people who have experience to kind of like basically you're coaching.
They're training, right?
Right, on the spot.
Training the guys on the
yes.
on the
Some
job.
guys may know, but you're a lot of it is just like coaching these guys how to do the job for the next 48 hours.
I was thinking about what the hell I was going to ask you, and I had some funny stuff. One of the questions was, what if you get there, you like they give you these guys, right? You're overseeing these 120 guys or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What if like 50 of them are like 75 years old? Like, what do you, right? Like
old men guards.
No offense to old people,
seasoned.
but seasoned.
There you go.
Yeah.
Seasoned.
So,
So let's say in that there's really not much you can do. But when we make requests, we can't say don't give us old people. We ask for able-bodied personnel based on the location. So like let's say like in particular the Barricade, we want bigger people who can actually pull somebody over the barricade if they had to.
Yeah.
Right. So I would say we need able-bodied people who can lift X amount of weight. You know, I will be specific on what we're looking for, not male or female, but just specifics on those kind of things. Because I can't. Next thing you know, you show. Well, you just said 6 guards. Well, able-bodied guards, right? Now, if I say, okay, well, this is just a door that goes to the back kitchen. And here we can have a generic guard, right?
Yeah.
I just need a body there.
Okay.
So, but a lot of times I don't really dictate a lot of the staffing, unless it's particular areas that are sensitive, like let's say a VIP area or artist entrance or artist compound, things like that, or stage. Other things, it's like I don't care about the guy. Not to say I don't mean that in a bad way, but I don't care who you staff on the porta potties.
Right.
Porta potties. You know what I mean? Right. A lot of that stuff is just, again, liability. We got to have this certain amount of guards for a certain amount of people that are there at the festival or show or whatever the deal is.
Insurance, man.
I have another dumb question. So if just stop me now.
Go ahead.
You're
on a roll.
Okay. So say you're here in the Coachella Valley or you're close and you see a big dude. Do you go, hey, here's my card. I could use you?
Believe it or not, I give my number out to a lot of guys.
See?
And while I'm on tour, I get a lot of guys' numbers. But but what it is
smart.
Again,
we're gonna chop that up as a
like,
reel.
I recruit guys when I'm at the gym. You know,
well, I mean, it's a good training ground, right? I mean, you got to be a little bit.
Because also too, like,
look the part, man.
There's a certain aesthetic that I want to be able to have, right? There's a certain aesthetic that I want for my company, right? I like to think I'm in pretty good shape for being a 46-year-old man. So I want that team that's around me to have the same aesthetic. Otherwise, then we all don't look alike.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Standard.
It's a team. It's a standard. We charge top dollar. I tell people, don't come to us for the best prices. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
You can go down the street.
Yeah.
We don't offer you the best prices. What we offer is the best service. We offer you and top level people who have been through conflicts and confrontations in real life and are battle tested, battle proven.
What does that mean?
Meaning that they've been through some shit.
Ooh.
A lot of the guys.
Okay, not the artists. Okay,
no, not
okay.
The artists. What I'm talking about is the people that we're providing. So then,
got it.
You're offering them somebody who's experienced that if something did really go south in a bad way, this person's not going to be like,
they're not going to be running.
I'm just a big guy and like, oh shit, I don't know what to do. No, these guys have been through, a lot of them are combat veterans.
Got it.
Or former law enforcement officers who literally are out there fighting every single day. So, you know, those are the kind of people that we like to bring to the table. So just because, you're a big guy doesn't mean that I want to hire you. Right. It means you have a certain aesthetic. I'm able to be able to use you for certain things. But as far as like for the personal protection, that stuff takes years of training, years of knowledge, and a lot of instinct.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, we'll come back to that veterans piece, but I think you guys are doing a real good job with that. So we got to about 2010. You're out in LA. You're starting to make a name for yourself. And I remember, so this is where like I remember because the homie from back in the day, but I remember like learning about your career in a Desert Sun article, like in the early mid 2000.
It was 2014.
Yeah,
I think you told me about
and
that.
that's when I was like, hey, I didn't even know David was doing this stuff, but it kind of highlighted some of the work you were doing out in LA with some of
Mm-hmm.
those celebrities. So at that point, were you just contracting, or were you on your own?
Yeah.
You have
So
your own,
at that
thing?
point, I'd started a consulting company already by that point, which was the VC group. But it was just me. And whenever I would need additionals, then I would, bring in other guys, right?
Yeah, temporary, and then just
but again,
per
like the
event.
way everybody is that does this, most guys are freelancers.
Mm.
So, I got 5 different guys who all have their own company.
Right.
We do an event. Now you got an event coming on later. Hey, like I need like 2 more guys. What are you doing later? Oh shit, well, I ain't doing nothing.
Right.
All right, cool. Come on. And that's the way it kind of developed, right? So with that, doing all kinds of different events. Basically, I ended up the guy who brought me into the business at the time, he was touring back and forth, right? But doing events and going on tour, a lot of what I do right now. And he got a basketball player as a client, and basically the basketball player hired him full time.
Mm.
And so because he hired him full time, that was I was kind of popping back and forth with Ziggy Marley at the time.
Wow.
And which, if you know any of us that grew up
we
in
would
that,
be all starstruck
within our little friend clique,
we'd be
like,
all starstruck. Reggae.
Oh yeah, that was that was
reggae
us growing up.
royalty, man.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. So going like 2011, I started doing shows, right? But like being as like a number 2, and then eventually I ended up becoming a number 1 on that because this guy got hired by a basketball player full time. And so by 2012, all I was doing was touring.
Mm.
And by, I would say, by 2012, pretty much that's all I did. I wasn't doing anything in between that, like, because I was just staying so busy.
You're just doing private security for celebrities, right?
Well, primarily in the music industry, just traveling and touring.
Okay, so when you say you're on tour, are they paying for, like, where are you sleeping? A bus or a hotel? And who's paying for that? Or is that all like in part of your contract?
So they take care of all my lodging, take care of all my travel. Some nights we're sleeping on a tour bus. Some nights we're sleeping on hotels. Some nights you're sleeping in hotel lobbies.
Yeah.
It all depends. Or sometimes you just catch the sleep where you can. You know what I mean? Like, I've had nights where,
the party don't stop.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that's what I was thinking. Do you, are you contracted for so many hours? Like, or how does that work?
Is it per job, right?
Well,
it's like a per job.
Well, I don't know.
So state of California is, it's weird, right? So like, technically we're supposed to pay by the hour, right? We can't pay day rates. But also too, in my line of work, I'm supposed to get breaks, lunches,
overtime,
right? And document all this stuff, right? Not to say that I don't, state of California. But it's how do I tell Bobby's guarding you, and Bobby's like, hey, sorry, but I gotta take my 15.
Right.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
No. He's got to take his 15. And I'll be back in 15 minutes. What do you tell him?
Can I go with you?
You tell him no.
I forget we're asking Fina. Pretend you're a celebrity. Can I go with you? No, but I'm saying like that's we don't have the luxury of having a job that we can do that. Or like Bobby's like, hey, I gotta get my 30 minutes in. You know what I mean? Like I gotta take my lunch. It's not feasible in this line of work. So you got to work around a lot of things like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the way we work is, you're traveling and you're on from one date to another date. So basically the way we bill is door to door. The day I leave my house, if I left my house today at 11:59 p.m., I'm charging for today. If I return tomorrow, or no, not tomorrow, the following day at 12:01, I'm charging for that day as well.
Nice.
So from the day I leave to the day I return home. Again, it balances out because there's some days where I'm working, I haven't slept in 2 days.
Oh.
And then there's other days where I'm in a city 3-4 days and I haven't done nothing. I mean, I'll go out and go to the gym and stuff like that, but I mean, meaning like the actual work itself.
Yeah.
So you can't predict what the principal's going to do. Some days they want to just sit in their room. Other days it's like, we're going to Disneyland and we're going to call paparazzi and let them know we're going to Disneyland.
Oh, shit.
You know what I mean?
So that's a busy day.
So that's a busy day, right? So it all kind of balances out.
Oh my God, that is so nuts.
Definitely a different industry.
So then you really don't ever know your schedule for like the year, right? You could be freaking everywhere.
I get blocked, like
you'll say I'm closed.
Because I try to request these things from, my tour managers or whatever, or, that I work for the different artists I work for.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff comes out, they'll be like, oh yeah, so-and-so's going on tour from this date to this date. So I know that's a time frame, but sometimes I got to leave earlier because of rehearsals or, promo, stuff like that. But for the most part, yeah, I don't really, like this year in particular, I knew I was going to be gone pretty much till April. And then we were waiting for them to announce the Grand National Tour. And once they announced the Grand National Tour, I was like, okay, cool. Now I'm on the Grand National Tour. I literally rolled from one tour into the next.
What's the Grand National Tour?
The Kendrick Lamar and SZA tour.
Oh, I love him. Mm-hmm. I was telling Bobby, that dude.
You're doing the big stuff, man.
That's
one of the biggest stuff.
Oh, Grand National, duh, his car.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that guy. He's a what's it called? Pulitzer Prize winner.
Yeah.
I'm probably saying it's wrong.
Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah, whatever. But he's very talented.
Yeah, they just broke the record for like highest grossing tour. Like
I'd imagine
over Jay-Z and Beyonce on the run too.
No way.
Yeah, which is pretty big. Those are pretty big numbers.
Yeah.
Damn.
So like when they announced the tour, I knew I wanted to be on it. I knew it. But like it's all the same team of guys that I work with. So
then you're a Lamar fan, not a Drake fan.
Kendrick Lamar pays the bills in my house.
Right? My son, he's just like the Drake fan. And then him and Bobby are always going at it about who's better, Michael Jordan. Okay, now I'm skipping.
But you're going.
Yeah,
you're
my son's like LeBron. And Bobby's fighting.
Teenagers, man. Teenage.
My son is a little rebel.
Yeah,
he don't like to listen. He just likes to go against dad. That's what it is.
There you go.
So 2000. So so VC consulting. Mm-hmm. That's when you're starting to like do the private security. You're starting to get in the celebrity world, right?
Yeah.
So I know that was you were doing that up until recently, right? Like
so I was doing that up until basically till I still have the company, but working under that company just kind of limiting the services that I was offering because I wasn't a licensed security company. So I wasn't offering like guard service, so on and so forth. I was a consultant.
You're just outsourcing.
So so if I needed other consultants, I would bring them in all under the same umbrella. We'd go out and do the work, right? Whereas now, I have a licensed security company. 2020, we're in 25. So 2022, I want to say. Well, during COVID, there was everybody's home, doing whatever.
That's true.
Everybody's trying to kind of, reach out to different people. There was a guy who kind of reached out to me. He was, had just recently got out of the Marine Corps, and just left Palm Springs Police Department, and he's looking for community. You know what I mean? And I think we were like kind of friends on a veterans forum or something like that. And so he reached out to me, heard about some of the stuff that I was doing, whatever, reached out, and I was like, yeah, sure, let's talk. So we're talking, we're chopping it up or whatnot, and I have had a client I was doing some work for in Palm Springs, having a couple of issues or whatever. So I was like, who's that guy that I talked to that, he was Palm Springs PD. Let me see if he ever, had any run-ins with her. So, I hit him up, whatever, and which turns out, fast forward now, he's my business partner. But yeah, so he took an interest in what I did, and him coming from that side, the private side, dealing with, the government entities and, CEOs and stuff like that. I'm like, I wanted to learn more about that.
Right.
Because it's like, the basketball player who wants to be a rapper and the rapper wants to be a basketball player. It's the same thing. And he was very interested in what I was doing. And, so we started kind of talking, hanging out here and there. And 1 year during Coachella, when Coachella came back up, I got a call for a couple of different things, and I was on tour. So I was just like, hey, well,
let's do this.
You say you can handle this, so this is what I got. And he brought in a bunch of his buddies, again, all, ex-Marines, retired Marines. And these guys kicked ass.
Nice.
And we just kind of started talking about, like, what can we do here? We have common ground. I like the way these guys work. They're my style. You know, they have the aesthetic of the team that I want to build, because I want to kind of bring a little bit of a change to the industry, because a lot of it, is specifically on the entertainment side, are big guys, right? Big guys. I'm only 5'8". A lot of these other guys were, you know, like normal sized guys, 5'8", 5'10".
But what are you in spirit? That's what matters.
8 feet tall, baby.
That's right. See?
You too, huh?
Oh, I know a few things.
7.
7.
On
Just
Jaeger.
keep it humble.
When I drink Jaeger.
Right.
Bobby won't let me have that anymore.
No, you're banned from Jaeger permanently.
So I, you know, we decided, like, you know, hey, you're interested in this, I'm interested in this, and I've always wanted to kind of, like, you know, formalize everything. And, you know, he was really smart. And when I asked him, like, why do you want to team up with me? Because a bunch of people wanted to team up with me, right? It's happened before. But I'm like, okay, but what do you bring to the table? It's more like people were trying to, like, you know,
use your name, right?
Use my name, right? And I hate saying it like that.
On connections.
Yeah. I hate saying it like that, but that's a lot of what it was. You see right through it. And his thing was, I want you to spend more time with your family. That was his first response, which was kind of like, okay, that's a different response than what I was expecting to hear.
Right.
Oh, because I want us to blow up and make all this money, blah, 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 you know, which, I mean, yeah, everybody wants to, you know, be rich or whatever the deal is, but that wasn't his first answer. So I was like, okay, well, my ears are open. So we started talking about things, and then, you know, fast forward, what are we in, 25 now? So 2023, we formalized the company, fully licensed, so on and so forth. And then things started taking off.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, we could just operate out of our, you know, my office at home and your office at home. We don't really need an office. He had a buddy of his gave us a conference room to operate out of, because the state requires us to have certain things on file, licenses posted, so on, all, you know, yeah. So you understand how that works. But we have to have a physical office. It can't be a PO box. It can't be at the house. It literally, I was like, I have to have a desk. I could have rented a desk from Bobby, right, and a cubicle, and that would have sufficed.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're like, dang, well, things are getting, you know, moving bigger, moving faster. I like to work in a work environment. And so did he. Then, you know, we're like, well, shit, well, maybe we should open an office. So we decided to open an office. And then after opening the office, you know, our brains start working on what are the other possibilities we could do. So kind of speaking on that, fast forward to next year, we're going to be opening the training center.
Nice.
So in addition to the security company, we're also going to be offering training. So, you know, everything from basic guard card training to how to get your firearm license. And then in addition to that, teaching a lot of the stuff, what it takes to actually be on the road, you know, health and nutrition, you know, mental fitness, and, you know, a lot of just in the job in particular. So
how many are you packing at all things, or is there some that they're like, hey man, this is a festival in the Hampton? Like,
no, so let's say a lot of times when it comes to carrying, because of the traveling that we're doing, it's too much to go through security, you know, clear everything, and you're going from state to state to state to state, and plus every state has their own different laws.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of different things, right? So if I need somebody armed, and let's just say we're in Wisconsin, right? I will contact one of my contacts in Wisconsin, right? Because I've been doing this for a lot of years. So I've traveled all over the states, again, going back to me getting guys' numbers.
Yeah. It's smart.
But it's like, okay, this guy did a really good job at this, you know, concert we were at, and he was armed. Hey, dude, let's get numbers. Next time I'm in town, I need an armed guy. I'll reach out to you. And the reason why we reach out to a local, because they have all the licensing that is required in that local, you know, area. So we don't really carry so much, and especially too, because we're doing arenas and stadiums, which are NFL, NHL, and NBA arenas. Their rules they supersede everything. So we cannot carry in there at all, period. Only uniformed law enforcement
just
officers.
These.
Yeah, just these. Yeah, just, you know, only uniformed law enforcement officers can carry in those places. So that's why we don't really, in particular on the entertainment side, don't really carry.
Got it.
Now, on the other side, keep hitting this thing. On the other side, we're dealing with, you know, business executives, so on and so forth. A lot of those guys do carry, but they carry concealed.
Sure.
So you'll never see it. So, And then again, the travel's a little bit different when you're talking about, big executives. You're not talking about going through TSA.
Private jets,
Yeah,
right.
you're talking about going through FBOs and going, getting
What's
on
an
PJs.
FBO?
You don't know what FBO?
Dude,
Okay, it's basically
I ain't rich.
Private,
basically like a private airport.
Private
instead of you going, right, like let's say in Thermal,
Okay.
there's, I think, like 3 different FBOs that are there, right? So Bobby's flying his jet in, right? He's going to go to flying into Signature FBO.
Okay.
Like basically that's like his parking spot, right?
Ah.
That's where we would go to go pick him up.
Got it.
Right. Now they still have to go. They have TSA agents that are stationed there.
Really?
Right. But
a little
they're
bit more
only
laxed, right? I mean,
yeah, it's just you're not you're not going through
taking off your
TSA
shoes.
with
They're 75 years
people
old.
and, yeah, it's just you're not having to go through all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know? So it's a lot simpler.
Yeah. So
Okay.
learn something every day, Fina.
I do.
So Libertas, back to Libertas. You kind of laid out the whole strategy, man. I think that's like, it's pretty cool to see like you go from consulting to now like to where you're at now. You're like a full on one shop stop for security and private security, man. I mean, like if you get this training center up and running, like the way you want it to, I mean, you guys are gonna have all kinds of growth potential there, right?
Yeah. So the idea as well is to not only for people that are already, in the industry, but to bring in new people into the industry, right? Because just from here, like a lot of people don't know, like 2 of the biggest female pop stars, I'm not going to name the name, run through our company. Their protections provided by our company. 3 different agents that work within those are all Coachella Valley natives.
Oh, sweet.
So I take a lot of pride in being able to put people from here out there to work, getting our name on the map. So part of also what we're doing too is like not just doing guard car training and all that other stuff, but also too mentoring young men, right? I've had a lot of people that we've grown up with. Hey, my son, needs a first job, and and all, like, I can't even tell you how many people like I've given their kid a job, even if it's just working for Coachella for a month and they made money or whatever. Like, our thing is be able to surround these young men with older men who are, most of them are retired from the military or law enforcement, and most of them are looked at as leaders in the community.
Yeah.
Right. To be able to connect these young men and surround them with other men who have a positive influence on the community and will be there when some of these young men don't have that. So that's part of also too what we are trying to build as well.
All right. You guys are doing a real good job. I mean, for veterans especially, man, I know you guys have a lot of veterans that you guys work with and hire. And I mean, you guys are a big time help to the community, because a lot of veterans fresh out of the military, there's no roadmap for that. Because you guys, you're veterans, so you know that, you can kind of sympathize. You guys are kind of on the same page with that.
Yeah.
Right?
So that a lot of it kind of goes back to, like I said, they're, these guys are getting out and still looking for a sense of community.
Yeah.
When you're going back home, like I know, like when I moved back here, my community was like my homeboys that I used to party with before I left. So I was like, okay, I just came right back to the same crap,
right back to it.
But if you could find a place where you can, be around like-minded individuals and be able to share things that your buddy that you grew up with may not be able to understand.
That's
but
true.
This other guy that, he served, whether it be alongside you or in another unit or whatever, but they can identify even some of these other guys who are old. We got guys that are, working for us in their 60s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I look up to those guys as well, because I think that they got something to offer. May not be able to be the physical presence that they once were, but they offer
they're
a lot
wise.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And a lot of those guys know how to deal with conflict a lot better because they're older, wiser. So to be able to take that, intermingle it with some of these younger guys, that's really what we're trying to do here. And then also too is like to be able to show that we got talent out here.
No, for sure.
In this desert.
Absolutely.
We got talent.
That's why we're doing this podcast, right? For that very reason, David. So I'm glad
we're trying to get the light.
Glad you said that.
Shine on our top people too, because we're not LA, we're not San Diego, but There's a lot of people that do a lot of good work out here too that we're trying to get out there and
Absolutely.
get out to the world. And
Yeah,
say,
I mean that again. That's big to us. Is be able again. Jeremy grew up right here in La Quinta. I grew up right here in Indio, so we're hometown kids. A lot
Yeah.
of people know about what I've done in between the years, and some people don't.
Right.
And also too, like we don't advertise for what we do, and the reason why we don't advertise for what we do is because we are a different type of service, right? We don't provide mall guards and just, I mean, everybody's needed,
Yeah.
Sure.
but it's just not a service that we provide because we, in particular, can you imagine you spend 20 years in the military and then I put you at a mall,
Right.
It's just, and it's no disrespect, but it's just also too like these guys are looking for a level of challenge still.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So to be able to do a lot more on the consulting and offer, insight on things that other people just don't understand or see.
Yeah.
Those are the reason why I bring in these older guys with talent.
And from a business perspective, it's good to specialize. It's good
Yeah.
to niche.
Oh,
It's good to
absolutely.
niche down and be
Yeah.
the top in that niche. Because
Exclusivity creates demand.
Exactly, man. And if you're the top in that niche, who's the top person when they need that niche going to call? And they're calling you. That's great for business, man. I think if you spread yourself too thin, you're not really great at anything at that point, right?
Exactly.
So you want to be great at one thing.
Exactly.
And great in your niche.
I had one guy, a businessman that I did some work for, like straight told me, he's like, you don't want to be the best in the room. You want to be the only one in the room.
Bam.
There you go.
So it's like at that point, it doesn't matter if you're good or bad.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as you're creating something that nobody else can offer.
Yeah. And that's great advice.
You're gonna buy it from me.
That's great business.
Let me
advice.
ask you this: Do you have to sign NDAs?
Yes, all the time.
And so say like you work for the same people over and over,
Mm-hmm.
like
Every year.
so you have to sign a new NDA every year.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay.
So we sign them as a company, and then individual agents have to sign with us as well.
Okay.
So speaking of NDAs, you got any crazy stories?
That's
you could
what I
tell
was
us?
gonna say. Come on.
most of my
Not naming names.
No, most of my crazy stories all came from like bouncer days.
Yeah.
And like,
Where were you bouncing at? Zelda's?
no. No, I didn't bounce at any clubs out here.
That's where we started our love story.
Yeah.
That's where Fina fell in love.
No, I never bounced at any clubs out here. I was a door guy at I don't know, it was called Dinks back in the day. I was a door guy there for a little bit, but I never bounced out here. I was out doing a lot of more bouncing work.
They're drunk, right? So they're probably that starts stuff, right?
Yeah, it's that. It's like, in your bouncer, you go to work every night knowing you're gonna get in a fight. You know what I mean? Like that's just what it is. It's just like you accept it. And if you knew me when I was younger,
I mean, you liked that back in the day, man.
You're all right with that.
David was good with that back in the day.
Never kind of shied away from that. But now that obviously, like I said, I tell people, if you do your job right at this level, crazy stuff does not happen around you. Because what we create, what are like rings of safety.
Yeah.
Right? Let's say the inner ring being me with the principal, the outer ring being, let's just say, the security guard that's out there on the gate, and then you create more and more rings. If you create these things and you plan these things out correctly, you won't ever have any craziness that comes around you. If somebody physically touches my client, I look at it as a failure on my behalf because I didn't plan properly to keep everything I could. Now, sometimes it's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But you should be able to plan things out. And that's the thing about what we do, in particular on the bodyguarding side, is that a lot of people don't see. There's a lot of planning, organizing, phone calls, emails, Zoom calls, more emails, text messages, WhatsApp. You got a million different things that are going on just to get somebody from 100 feet dropped at the top of a carpet to the end of the carpet. You would not even imagine how much actually goes into that. Right? Some of it unnecessary, I'm not gonna lie. But it's not, but it's also too, the reason why there's so many different conversations is because one little slip up, everything's on camera.
Yeah.
Whether that slip up be literal physical slip and the person falls because we didn't talk about this person's gonna, this last Grammys.
Right.
Let's just say, for instance, the young lady that I was working with had a long train and they wanted me to carry the train, which was totally fine. And the reason why was because she had her male companion, which was on her side. So she
Mm-hmm.
was well protected. Plus also too, the red carpet team is our company as well.
Mm.
So we were in a good place. But like there's a million different things that, you know, could hinder things. So let's just say something bad happens, we got to run out. Am I going to trust this little 19, 20-year-old production
Right.
assistant to hold this? Or just like, oh crap, she drops it. Now we're going and running, catches on something, and we can't escape. Or am I going to hold it?
There you go.
And if I have to, cut it, and then we got to, you know, bug out. It's those kind of things that people are like, oh, you're just holding a dress. Yeah, but you don't understand how much planning went into this and why I am the one holding it and not somebody else.
Why? There's this, like, I think that's any profession that's done at the high level. Like, there's just so much that goes into it that you don't see behind the scenes, man. And I think your preparation is why you don't have the crazy story for us.
Yeah.
Can you make one up?
The professional,
no,
you have to go back to his bouncer days to get,
okay.
to get that.
Days.
So you just mentioned, was it the Emmys? Grammys. So they're sitting down. Where are you?
So
You're like, I can't tell you.
No. If you watch the Grammys, if you watch some of these award ceremonies, and if you just, let's just say you got, I don't know what they have now, you can pause it.
TV, yeah.
And if you just take a shot of, let's say, a crowd, I could pick out and be like, he's security, that's security.
Are you guys seat fillers too?
We look like seat fillers sometimes.
So
sometimes you'll see, like there's a video out there of I had an artist performing at the Grammys, and she was performing in the middle of the crowd. She only felt comfortable with me taking her hand so she could walk up these stairs. She wanted me near. So she's walking down the aisle, singing, you know, everybody's surrounding her or whatever. Then she comes down to the pit area where I'm standing, and they're like telling me, act natural. So there I am like this.
Rock on.
I looked stupid as hell. Like so many people were texting and calling, like it was embarrassing. But it's like, you know, like
that's a funny story.
But again, it's it's a funny story. Like, nobody got beat up there, so my ego. But you know, again, it's trying to blend in. I don't blend in very well. I'll be honest with you. But also too, that's why I work in entertainment, because sometimes they don't want you to blend in. You are used to attract some kind of attention.
Yeah, that's true.
You definitely have to have the look, right? You gotta have the you gotta have the
time
posture.
How'd you come up with your business name?
Oh, all right.
And what does that mean?
Okay. So the way we came up with the business name, like between Jeremy and I, we kind of like sat there and we were like, okay, we don't want to call it like J&D security or D&J security, or, you know, anything basic, you know. But basically, you know, the name of the company is Libertas Protection Group, obviously protection for what we do. And group, the reason why we went with the group is because of the fact that we work with different companies throughout, not only throughout the country, but throughout the world.
Right.
So it's a group of different, you know, companies that we work with. And Libertas, basically, the root word for Libertas is free, or the root language is Latin, right? So Libertas means freedom. So freedom being based off of our one thing that we have in common, both Jeremy and I, and is that we are both veterans. Jeremy having served in the United States Marine Corps, myself in the U.S. Army, and again, we met through a veterans forum.
Just made sense.
And the majority of the guys that we bring into work are veterans. So, you know, the freedom kind of equivocates with, the type of people that we bring in, and also too, like, honestly, the freedom to be able to make the decisions and do the things that we feel are the best things to be doing.
Got it. That's a great name then.
Yeah.
I approve.
There's a lot of thought. There's a lot of thought put into that. And
there really was.
If you met his partner, you would see that guy's kind of he's very thoughtful and methodical the way he thinks.
Yeah,
you know. So.
Yeah, that's one thing. I'm a little bit more of, you know, shoot first, ask questions later.
For sure.
Whereas my business partner, and this is why we make a good balance, is he's kind of like, hold on, we'll still shoot, but let's ask some questions first.
Yeah.
And then maybe we don't have to shoot. Got it.
Yeah.
We work very good. We're, you know, but also too, like, my boldness is what got me to where I am. Mm-hmm. So there's also that factor. Right?
For sure.
Because that boldness has really pushed the company forward. And not to say that my business partner wouldn't do these things, but I do a lot of things just off the cuff.
Surprise yourself.
Surprise myself. Hey, it worked. You got home safe. Basically, I'm a hero. but the way our thinking process works is like there's times where he's having, like he's frustrated, like, man, like, all right, copy that, tag in, I'll deal with them. You deal with this, right?
That's true.
Because there's certain things he has more patience for, and certain things I have more patience for, and we tag team on a lot of things, right? Our official titles are, I'm the CEO, he's the CFO, but we don't really go by that. No. We are co-founders, right? Because when you have a corporation, obviously you got to have, officers, and everybody's got to have a stupid title or whatever. Sure. But for me, titles are limitations. So I don't like to be like, oh yeah, well, I'm the CEO and that's all I do. I do all kinds of things. I clean the office too. I'm also the janitor.
Nice. I love it.
Mm-hmm. And the same thing with him. So we just kind of stick with the whole co-founder, because we are 50-50 partners on all of this.
All right. One other thing I'm going to bring up real quick. We will kick our guys out downstairs, the warehouse. If you want a training facility, it's yours.
You heard that.
And will you?
It's on the podcast.
Will you hire dummies that you can tackle, like football dummies?
They have all kinds of gear in there, man. They're training, man.
I hire quite a few dummies.
Well, we're kind of running up against time here, but we always like to ask our entrepreneurs, somebody that's young, maybe thinking to get into your game. What advice would you give a young buck maybe thinking, hey, I want to be the next David Villarreal and get into that world?
Ooh, find a better hero.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but you are at the top of the food chain right now, man.
I would say this. Don't let anybody tell you can't. I mean, they're gonna come against you. Everybody's come against me. People have felt their own ways about my success. Mm-hmm. I really am. If you do really know who I am as a person, I'm one of the most humble people. I will go out there and I'll stand a post with my guards. I will stay up at night with my guards. Mm-hmm. I will tell my guard, go home. It's Christmas Eve. Right. It's, my family can tell you how many times I've missed, things or whatever. Or I won't go home until my guys are going, right? Mm-hmm. Be humble, bust your ass, and don't ever let anybody tell you can't. Be bold. True. Be bold in everything that you do.
That's true.
The people who are bold are the people who excel in this world. And today, it's too easy to be great. I know you guys probably all heard this like all over the place, but it is too easy to be great because a lot of the people today do not want to work hard. Yeah. They want success, but they don't want to work hard.
Amen.
And that's the reason why you have so many failed businesses. You have so many people who are depressed because their whatever didn't take off. Okay. You can manifest everything you want, right? Mm-hmm. But what is the actual plan behind that manifestation? I can sit here and tell I'm manifesting being a billionaire. Okay, but what
you have to do the work behind it.
Yeah, what type of action am I taking? And am I actually taking action towards that goal? All right. I would say, again, work hard. And if this is something that you want to pursue, it's not easy, especially if you're not from a region where these things happen. So like I tell guys all the time, like you guys will be like in the middle of somewhere in Texas and be like, how do I get into business? Well, one, you're in the wrong city. LA, New York, Las Vegas, Miami, Houston. You want to get into entertainment. Those are going to be your big cities, right? If you want to be work, because that's where all the big events are happening.
That's true.
Right? Atlanta's one of those cities as well. But in particular, like the military background definitely helps, but I also know guys who have zero military background. But educate yourself. Talk to other guys who are actually doing what you want to do and get the real dirt.
Get a mentor.
Get a mentor.
Yeah.
However you want to look at that, call them however you want. But I'm a firm believer in that. I had a mentor. I learned good things and bad things from him. Even now that I'm 46 years old and I've been in the business for almost 20 years, I still have people that I talk to, right? I don't go and ask all my friends for advice. That's bad. Mm-hmm. You take somebody that you know has failed and failed again and is now successful. Because one person, you fail multiple times, you guys probably know as business owners, you're going to fail a shitload of times.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be hard times.
Part of it, man.
Yeah, it's part of
the journey.
Right, but every single time you get up. right?
Oh yeah, you have to.
You know, and again, back to the freedom. I never want to work for anybody.
That's right.
I have
That's
the freedom of now I'm a grandfather. I can spend time with my kids. Just the other day on a Tuesday, I had a barbecue from my family with my mom, my dad, my daughter, my granddaughter, my ex-wife, her husband, my wife, like everybody's there in the house. The only one that wasn't there was my son who was at work, but on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's great.
Because I worked hard to be able to get to where we can do these things how we want and when we want.
Exactly.
You know,
I love it.
Put in
That's
the
great.
work to have the freedom, man. That's what entrepreneurship is all about. You're going to work 120 hours, but you're going to have the freedom to decide what you do with your free time. And that's the beauty of this. Well, I'm super proud of my homie from kindergarten, man, because you were top of the food chain in that world. And I mean, you know, I've seen you come up from a little kid, you know, to who you are today, man. So, you know, and I think we need more of that as a community. Our community needs to kind of support, you know, us guys out here kind of, you know, grinding it out, man. And I'm super proud to have you as a homie. And, you know, I appreciate you coming into it, man. You have a great story, and you know, I'm glad you shared it with the world, man.
Appreciate it, Mark.
All right, man. Well, if you guys
where do you find them?
Oh yeah. So if we got to look you up and we want to maybe get some security services, or maybe we want to start training with you, or maybe ask you for a job, or what's the best place to find you?
The best place to find us will be on Instagram. That's pretty much the only like social media presence that we really have. We do have a website, but it's just a splash page again, because there's a little bit of there's a lot of secrecy involved in what we do. Right. So it's like, if you know, you know. Again, we don't advertise, so we don't advertise on a website. We're not telling you who we work with, why, you know, and what we do exactly, right? We're not for everybody. This is not the beginner's place to start. I tell people all the time when I bring them up to, you know, work things with me, like, you're the big leagues. I expect you to hit a home run every single time. And it's like, yes, because that's what's expected of us, because they're paying us good money. They're paying us big money. I'm paying you good money. Hit a home run.
Right.
Nice.
There's definitely a standard.
Yeah.
So Instagram, good place to hit them up.
Libertas _protection. Libertas _protection.
All right. So
Nice.
there's the place to kind of reach out. You guys got some questions.
Yeah.
This guy's the man, man. He's top of the food chain. Thanks for coming in, my man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, man.
Good to see you.
So if you guys found some value today in our conversation, you know the routine. Like, subscribe, and follow. And we'll see you next time on CV Hustle.